Welcome to you one and all. This is the Emirates Stadium, North London, and this is what can, improbably but indisputably, all of a sudden lay claim to being, in prospect at least, the match of the Premier League season so far. Arsenal, the leaders themselves, undefeated on this their own turf since May. Saka plays it in. Gabriel's there! And Arsenal lead! That is precisely what they missed. Martinez nonplussed and dismayed on his goal line. McGinn making the goalkeeper's case. Sancho, well won by Odegaard, he's hungry. Martin Odegaard, Zubimendi! Oh, that's tiny! And how it matters! Arsenal easing clear of those who would chase them. Odegaard down by Saka, out by Digne, taken back by Timber. Trossard! Without doubt, without compromise. And Trossard. And Jesus! What about it? Oh, what a moment! What a lovely moment! And re-establishes himself as Arsenal's number 9. Tonio Marlon. And still Marlon. And still Marlon, and Watkins scores. A goal of little consequence, but some personal relevance. He always gets a goal at Arsenal, and little though this will mean. The most compelling evidence yet that this time Arsenal really can go all the way. They end the year flying high at the top of the Premier League. Kelly, thank you. One city, one club, what a wonderful place this is. A beautiful, bright, brisk afternoon on the Tyne. A rivalry which is raw and crackling. And in the context of all that has gone before this weekend, a day that for one or the other is crying out to be seized. Newcastle Arsenal, each under the skin of the other. This fixture has become an occasion. He works it short with Gordon. And then Tonali delivered! And Voltemada scored! And now he fills the part. This one's short for Eze. And Odegaard. And Rice again! What a header! Big. Mikel Merino got big! Plenty. Another Arsenal substitute saves the day. Odegaard's corner. Oh, they've stolen it! Arsenal have nicked it on 96! Gabriel's gigantic moment! Obliged to win! The Gunners have gone and done it! Right at the last! Mentally. From Gabriel, deep into stoppage time, and on a ground where they have felt pain aplenty. Kelly, thank you. North London's day of tribe and territory. Tottenham on Arsenal's manor, and everything that entails. Arsenal who lead the league and would be champions. Spurs who shiver at that very thought and themselves dream big. The two of these are oil and water, forever and ever, us and them and us. And they're at it again. Merino. Oh, it's lovely. It's Trossard. Trossard twisting and scoring! 1-0 to the Arsenal on the day that matters most.
Well, it's a goal for Arsenal. and it's a goal for those.
Free from Saka, that's good from Timber. It's come out to Declan Rice. And Eze! It's heading Arsenal's way on Derby Day. Timber. And Eze! In no time! Arsenal are ripping it up! And Eberechi Eze can barely disguise his glee. Richarlison has stolen and Richarlison has gone for goal and scored! Extraordinary! To give Tottenham just the merest hint of an interest.
Commentator's curse. It wasn't necessarily defending which cost them, it's the actual long ball play of Zubimendi not releasing it quickly enough.
Marino, Trossard, Eberechi Eze! Derby Day hat-trick! A match ball he can prize forever and a day! The pure, undiluted joy of the humble superstar and his proud, proud club. Eze's hat-trick and Arsenal's glorious victory. Arsenal again, one more derby triumph, one more substantial stride towards the big prize of which they dream. A very warm welcome, one and all, to the Stadium of Light, indeed, to the Stadium of ear-splitting sound. This is such a proud part of the world. We have just witnessed the most wonderful remembrance display, beautifully and respectfully overseen by nearly 50,000 people. Ballard's the target again, and Ballard's in here and smashes Sunderland in front. Oh, hear this! Dan Ballard with thrust and belief.
Well, the one thing he...
Lefay caught on it by Rice, shifted on by Eze, now Marino, and now Saka! He snaps Arsenal back!
Well, one thing we know is that you don't get time in the Premier League. Lefay thinks he's got all the time in the world. We just talked about his ability on the ball, but what you've got to have is decision making, and at the Premier League...
Leandro Trossard belter! What a terrific hit! He has speared that into the top corner, and that is what would-be champions do. How they've had to dig for this, the Arsenal, but Trossard has them in front. Reynildo, Trey Hume, nicked in by Hume, on by Ballard, in by Bobby! Oh wow! This place has a heart! Brian Brobby with a goal to relish! Sunderland will not be beaten! Arsenal protest, but the points may have eluded them. Raw sport at its richest. That is prime Premier League. Melodrama. Brian Brobby with, for him, the signature moment at the end. But so much went before. An epic, Rebecca, an epic. Welcome one and all. This is the Emirates Stadium, North London, the home of the Arsenal, and reopened for business tonight. at the start of the season when the Gunners seek at last to shift up from the perennial nearly club to the real deal. A win already at Old Trafford. Now a visit from the keen, noisy new boys of Leeds United. A palpable sense of fresh challenge in the air. A new signing, Eberechi Eze, just unveiled. The place, Graham Lasso, is effervescent. Rice to stick it under the crossbar. It's in! Another peach of an Arsenal set piece. Murian Timber is at the core of the celebratory crowd. Picked away by Gruyev. Zubimendi again. And Timber. And Saka! Thumps it in with style. That's how you remember Bukayo Saka.
Well, given how the atmosphere got quite flat, this goal is really important this afternoon for Arsenal.
A day or two older, so that record is safe. Here's Gyökeres. Forcing back Stroud. Gyökeres is off and running! The moment for which he has hungered! And his new mate smiles admiringly from the stand. The smile behind the mask. 3-0 the Arsenal, and the new centre forward is in business. Declan Rice with the corner. Calafiori and stabbed in by Murian Timber. A day beyond his dreams. The fullback who scored once before for Arsenal has scored twice on the night. Victor Gyökeres. A proper gunner now. Feeling the part, looking the part. Yes! Embracing the moment. Arsenal with a swagger, a smile, and a smidgen of style. For Mikel Arteta, Timber, Saka, Gyökeres, Timber, and from the penalty spot, Gyökeres again. Leeds on the end of a tough one. Arsenal, Rebecca. Arsenal play 2-1-2, hitting their strap and loving life. 5-0 the Gunners.
So here comes the Premier League again after the September international break. Nottingham Forest, in their changed colours, have lost all 4 previous visits to the Madueke. Zubimendi! Well, as opening goals for a club go, that's pretty darn special. A sumptuous volley from 5th in his first season. Eze. And Gyökeres! 2 of the new boys combined. And within 50 seconds of the restart, Arsenal double their advantage. Rice. Trossard. And the header curves in. And Zubimendi is having a day of days. One from nodding distance, one from a neighbouring parish, and Arsenal going top of the Premier League table. And didn't Martin Zubimendi show it? Goals of very different styles. Oh, and Gyökeres scored 2. Forest.
Everyone in fine boys for that 7:30 kickoff. Most of them are following his instruction. And it comes from Yanel Chala, rattles the crossbar.
His reflexes are second to none.
Right in behind. That's it. That's in. He's at it again, Mikel Merino. A headed goal for Arsenal and a lead for Arsenal just past the 10-minute mark. Nice. at all. But that was another great bit of defending from Rico Henry. And again,
He couldn't do that quickly enough. Henry was really quick onto it. This was a glorious chance.
Calafiori, still Calafiori, Kelleher with the save. And Saka couldn't get the power to find the second. Well, Arsenal looking to put it to bed, and they might just do it here with Saka. Saka, Kelleher, can he keep it out? It's over the line, and so are Arsenal. Finally they can breathe easy. Finally they can celebrate. Finally they can sit Another win for Mikel Arteta and Arsenal. Another game without defeat. It's 18 now in all competitions since Arsenal last.
Kelly, thank you. Quite a roar. A roar that anticipates what has become these last years one of the adrenaline contests of our game. Combustible, no holds barred, hugely consequential, and each off an uplifting week, and with Liverpool still ominously perfect, neither side here can contemplate retreat. Ireland has released Reinders.
He's away.
To Johnny Reinders. Erling Haaland!
Brilliant.
Without stopping for breath. Utterly irrepressible. Thrilling.
Absolutely amazing.
Eze. Lifted forward here from Martinelli. Oh, what a finish! What a magical finish from Gabriel Martinelli to pull it out of the fire for Arsenal. For the second time in a week, Gabriel Martinelli has jumped off the Arsenal bench and impacted gloriously. There's always a twist. City Arsenal, there's always a twist. Friends and enemies, Arteta and Guardiola have to shake on a draw. 70,000 people at Old Trafford, Manchester, the Stretford end for a lost star of Liverpool. And that is beautiful. So, the weight of expectation. If Ruben Amorim had his way last autumn, then this would have been the start of it. Regardless, after a recuperative summer, this is as clean a slate as he is going to get. And for all that Arsenal have been brilliantly reinvigorated. Ødegaard gliding. Martin Ødegaard! Pitched inconveniently for Altay, who did well to cling on.
It's just so silky when it gets played into him in that pot.
Who's floated it gorgeously towards Mbeumo. It's Bryan Mbeumo who tucked it wide via a deflection for another Manchester United corner.
Yeah, Calafiori had gone forward, it had left a huge gap. See where Mbeumo is.
Bruno Fernandes snapping in again. Dogu! Oh! He's hit that beautifully pure. And it's nicked off the back post. Now Rice delivers right under the bar and in! Calafiori right on the line! A magic Arsenal set piece of the type to which all became accustomed last year, and Altay Bayındır was lost. Cunha ploughing through the heart of them. This is Matheus Cunha for Manchester United. That was forceful.
Oh, it's really good end to end. Martinelli should have.
Cunha. Cunha!
What a save. That is a hell of a save. That is one hell of a save.
If there's time, there's not. Arsenal launch with a win on a ground where for them wins have always meant plenty. They had to dig for it. Boy, they had to dig.